A chilling twist shatters South Africa's celebrity world. Kelly Khumalo's long-rumored hidden adult son has been found dead inside her own home. Today, we'll uncover the heartbreaking chain of events that led from a secret family revelation to a mysterious death that's raising alarming questions. If you discovered a family member had been hiding someone's existence for decades, what would be your first move? Comment below. For years, Kelly Khumalo's name has been tied to headlines. Music success, public scandals, and personal drama. But there was always one rumor that hovered like smoke. Whispers claimed she had a child from her teenage years, one who had been quietly removed from the public eye and raised elsewhere. That whisper became thunder when, just over a week ago, a family acquaintance allegedly confirmed his identity and age. The news spread quickly online, with some stunned by the revelation and others insisting they had known for years. But no one could have predicted the devastating turn events would take next. The young man, whose name authorities have yet to confirm publicly, lived a life almost designed to avoid attention. No photos on social media. No public records easily traceable. Those who claimed to have met him describe a tall, quiet individual who seemed wary of strangers, as if trained to keep his circle small. Neighbors in the area where he reportedly stayed say he was barely seen and often returned home late at night. It was a life in hiding and perhaps in heartbreak. A life that now raises a question. Was the secrecy protection or a prison? The first hints of trouble came from a source close to the Khumalo household. They alleged that days before his death, the young man arrived at Kelly's residence unannounced. What followed was said to be a heated exchange, voices raised high enough to be heard by those nearby. Some claim it was about years of abandonment. Others say it concerned a request for help that was refused. Whatever the truth, this confrontation was one of the last times he was seen alive. For many, it now feels less like an argument and more like a final unspoken goodbye. Piecing together the last 72 hours of his life is like assembling a puzzle with missing pieces. Witnesses report seeing him enter Kelly's home on the afternoon of the second day before his death. Some say he appeared distressed, pacing outside before going in. A delivery driver claims he left food at the gate that same night and heard muffled shouting inside. The next morning, neighbors say the house was unusually quiet, until police sirens shattered the silence. The timing of each event now matters, because somewhere in that narrow window, the fatal moment occurred. When authorities entered the property, they were met with a scene that felt frozen in time. The living room appeared untouched, but down the hallway, a bedroom door stood ajar. Inside, the young man lay motionless, with no immediate signs of forced entry or struggle. The air was heavy, the blinds drawn. One investigator later remarked that the room felt staged, though no official reporter confirmed that. Outside, curious neighbors gathered behind yellow tape, their murmurs carrying an unshakable mix of shock and suspicion. Preliminary forensic work hinted at an unsettling truth. There were no obvious wounds, no sign of break-in, and no evidence of stolen property. Toxicology tests were ordered, but insiders say the results could take weeks. Meanwhile, a strange detail emerged. Certain personal items belonging to the victim were missing, including a phone and a small black notebook. Investigators are reportedly treating these missing objects as potentially crucial to understanding not just how he died, but why. When the news broke, social media erupted. Fans expressed heartbreak, while critics resurfaced old controversies involving Kelly. Hashtags calling for justice began trending within hours, and online forums lit up with speculation. Some people shared photos they claimed were the young man, though many turned out to be false. Others insisted that the media was rushing to conclusions without facts. But through all the noise, one sentiment stood out: the deep unease that comes when a family's private pain becomes a nation's public obsession. For those who have followed Kelly Khumalo's career, this tragedy adds another dark chapter to an already complex public image. She has faced accusations, endured legal battles, and been linked to controversies that never seem to fade. In this case, critics argue that her history of secrecy makes it harder for the public to believe her side of the story. Supporters, however, insist she's being unfairly targeted because of her fame. Either way, the death of her alleged son now threatens to redefine her legacy, not just as an artist, but as a mother, South Africa's justice system now finds itself entangled in one of the most delicate cases in recent memory. Legal experts suggest the investigation will be complex, as the high-profile nature of Kelly Khumalo's family inevitably draws intense scrutiny. Authorities face pressure to proceed swiftly yet cautiously, balancing public demand for answers with the rights of those involved. Questions swirl about possible charges, whether this will be ruled an accident, natural causes, or something far darker. Whichever path the courts take, this case is bound to test the limits of both law and public patience. The moment the story broke, news outlets across the country scrambled to cover every angle. Television panels debated theories nonstop, while newspapers splashed bold headlines across their front pages. But amid the rush to publish, mistakes and exaggerations crept in, muddying the waters further. Some journalists have been accused of sensationalism, while others champion responsible reporting, reminding audiences that facts must precede judgment. This media maelstrom not only shapes public opinion, but also complicates the investigation. Because in high-profile cases, perception often becomes reality. Despite the intense media glare, Kelly Khumalo's extended family has maintained an almost impenetrable silence. Friends close to the family say this quiet is a mix of shock, grief, and strategic restraint. Lawyers have advised minimal comment, warning that any public statement could be twisted or used in court. This silence only fuels rumors and speculation, leaving a vacuum filled by hearsay. Yet behind closed doors, sources reveal emotional turmoil, broken relationships, guilt, and unanswered questions that no words can fix. Tragically, this is not the first time a member of a South African celebrity family has died under mysterious circumstances. Over the past decade, several high-profile cases have echoed similar patterns: sudden deaths, unanswered questions, and public outcry. These patterns raise uncomfortable questions about the pressures of fame and the toll it takes on private lives. While each case is unique, observers note a recurring theme of secrecy, denial, and sometimes systemic failures that prevent justice from being fully served. As investigators piece together the timeline, they face a web of conflicting eyewitness accounts. Some neighbors insist they heard loud arguments. Others say the house was quiet all night. Delivery workers claim to have seen the young man leave moments before, while another driver swears he never saw him that day. These contradictions complicate the case, forcing detectives to sift truth from fiction. In a story where every detail matters, such inconsistencies. In the end, the death of Kelly Khumalo's hidden adult son is more than a personal tragedy. It's a story that has forced South Africans to confront uncomfortable truths about secrecy, fame, and the way we consume the lives of others. It is a reminder that behind the headlines, there are human beings grappling with pain, regret, and unanswered questions. Whether the truth emerges tomorrow, months from now, or never at all, the shadow surrounding this case will remain a part of Kelly Khumalo's legacy. Until the final piece of the puzzle is placed, the public will keep asking, was this simply fate's cruel hand, or something far more deliberate? And somewhere in that space between grief and suspicion, the story waits for its ending,